Lori Lynch. I'm the chair of the department, and I've been in the department for over 20 years now. It's a great undergrad program, so I encourage you all to consider it. We offer a variety of different approaches to looking at the world. And I think Jill's going to talk to you in more detail about the undergrad majors. We also have a really strong scholarship program for students who are AREC majors. So that's something you might be interested in when you're looking at applying. Yeah, so welcome. And I hope you consider us. And guess I'll pass it on to Lars, who's the director of undergraduate studies.
Hi, I'm Lars Olson. I'm a professor in agricultural and resource economics, and I'm director of undergraduate studies. And we're really excited to have you join this session. And we feel like we have a lot of opportunities to offer to potential students. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about our programs and any information that we can provide to help you make the best decision for you is what our goal is today. And if you have any questions, after this session is over, don't hesitate to follow up with one of us, and we'll be happy to assist you any way we can.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give a general overview of what our major does and how it can benefit you. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So it doesn't sound like, based on the introductions, that we have any students who are in high school, because I do spend some time talking about the high school coursework that you might want to consider taking, but I'll just kind of keep it general. And if you have any questions relating to your particular situation, or questions about the coursework or how the major can apply to you more specifically, you can of course unmute yourself and ask. So fundamentally, AREC, Agricultural and Resource Economics, is an applied microeconomics program that focuses on natural resources and the environment. So the same quality education that you would get from as an economics major at Maryland, you would get with us. But I mean, I'm not biased, but I think it might be better because the classes for AREC majors tend to be smaller than the ones you would encounter in a very large department, like the economics department. The economics department has thousands of students. We have just over 100. So you're sure to get a lot of personal attention from faculty members. And the vast majority of our faculty members who teach within our department are full-time, tenure-track faculty members, many of whom have really been in the field of economics, either teaching or in industry for many years. So they bring a really diverse perspective of microeconomics as it relates to natural resources and the environment. So Lars is going to talk about this a little bit more, but the careers that our graduates pursue after they graduate from our program are really, really broad, diverse, and interesting. Our graduates have worked in the private sector, the public sector, for the federal government. This is a really heavily quantitative major. So I think any profession that requires quantitative skills, this major will prepare you very well for. As I said before, also, we also pride ourselves on our small classes, particularly our upper level classes that all majors are required to take. You are sure to get a lot of personal attention from faculty members through our upper level classes. So the way that our major is structured is that we have 3 overarching concentrations. That would be our agribusiness concentration, our agricultural and resource economics concentration, and our newest concentration, environmental and resource economics. So each AREC student is required to choose one concentration. Within that concentration, you are required to complete what is called a supporting field course. So a supporting field course is sort of a way for you to customize your major according to your personal interests. So a lot of our students, we have a ton of students in our major who do the agribusiness concentration. The agribusiness concentration enables you to take business courses from the Smith School of Business and apply those towards your degree at Maryland. The nice thing about that is that the majority of business courses at the Smith School are restricted to students in the Smith School. The Smith School is generally a limited enrollment program, so students have to test into that school before they can take those courses. The nice thing about our major is we are an open enrollment major, so we do not have any restrictions as to the students who are allowed in the major. If you are accepted to Maryland, you are eligible to declare an AREC major immediately or at any point throughout your education. If you are in the agribusiness concentration, you have the option of fulfilling our business management field of study, which enables you to take 3 business courses at the Smith School. So that's a very popular concentration for that reason. Our agricultural and resource economics concentration is sort of our I like to call our more old school concentration. That's sort of a much more broad concentration that enables you to really customize your field of study according to your personal interests. So I can go into a little more detail about the fields of study available in each concentration after this. That requires me to go to a different page. But before I do, I will also introduce you to our environmental and resource economics concentration. That's sort of our newest concentration. And it really touches on the field of microeconomics from an environmental standpoint. So environmental economics, we know, is a very popular area of study, really nationally and globally. So we created that concentration as a way to meet that demand. So let me go into a little bit more detail about the fields of study. So, okay, so as I mentioned before, each AREC student gets to choose their own field of study. So as I mentioned in the agribusiness concentration, business management, that's a very popular field of study. You fulfill that field of study by taking 3 business courses within this list. We also have a farm management and entrepreneurship field of study within that concentration. Our agriculture and resource economics field of study is much more flexible. So we have a list of numerous areas that you can fulfill your field of study, and all students must fulfill 3 courses within their chosen field of study, chosen in consultation with their advisor. That would be me. So we have a ton of options: environmental and resource policy, international agriculture, food production, political process. You can even design your own field of study. If there is a topic that is of interest to you and that relates to our major, you are welcome to choose and customize your own field of study based on your own interests. Select 3 classes that fall under that category, and we can definitely make that work. Our environmental and resource economics field of study options are a little broader. We have 3. Social sciences, you take 3 courses in the social sciences field from this list. Natural sciences, that is our lab sciences focused concentration. And advanced degree prep, that is advanced stat and math classes for students who are thinking about grad school in the economics field. So do we any questions before I further explain our requirements?
None for me.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, I thought you said 1 for me, but you said none for me. Okay, all right, okay. So if there are no other questions, I'm going to go over our requirements a little bit more. So before moving on to the upper level courses within this major, all students are required to complete what are known as our benchmark requirements. These are sort of the introductory foundational courses that all students must complete before moving on to upper level economics courses in our major. So those benchmarks are as follows: introductory microeconomics, macroeconomics, calculus 1. We also require 2 statistics courses. So we recommend those to be elementary statistics and business statistics. And then AREC 326, that is intermediate applied microeconomics. That is sort of our department's signature benchmark course, you can say. You're eligible to take this course after you complete microeconomics, macroeconomics, and calculus. So most students take this course around their sophomore year. And that, it's kind of like the department's benchmark course. If you do well in that course and you're good with the concepts in AREC 326, you're probably set for the rest of our major, pretty much. So any questions about the benchmark requirements?
No.
Okay, so in addition to the benchmark requirements and the 3 field of study courses, all students must complete 5 upper level AREC courses after they are done their benchmark requirements. So those upper level AREC courses are generally taken in your junior and senior year. I recommend splitting them up. You don't want to take all 5 upper level courses all at once. I generally don't recommend that. That doesn't mean you can't. I mean, you technically could, but most of our students, they want to study other things. They want to do minors. You're also going to have general education requirements to fulfill. So I recommend kind of spreading out the major requirements throughout your time at Maryland. All right, well, if there are no questions about the requirements, I'm going to show you a fun video that it's more informational about this program. Everyone ready? All right.
I'm Lori Lynch, and I'm the chair of the Ag and Resource Economics Department at the University of Maryland.
I have been studying agriculture, resource, and economics with a concentration in business management and international agriculture.
My major is agricultural and resource economics, and I have a concentration in agribusiness.
I think one of the unique things about AREC is the aspect of you studying economics that you could study anywhere else, in another school, in another university, but you are studying economics, tying it to a real life, actionable concept, and that is food and how people access their food.
For undergraduates, we offer 3 different concentrations or majors. One is in agribusiness, one is in straight agricultural economics, and the other is in environmental economics.
AREC immediately stood out to me because of the business side that it offered, and it was very cool that I was able to diversify in what classes I took by doing different fields of study. That really allowed me to get well-versed in many different disciplines.
You get to know your professors are teaching the classes, and here at UMD, those professors are really well-renowned economists and known in their field for what they do. You're getting to get comfortable in this smaller class setting with people who are really intelligent, doing a lot of interesting research in the field.
I think what makes AREC and the university HUNR special is just that community aspect of it. The fact that you know that if you have a problem, if you have a challenge, there is somebody out there that is willing and able to help you.
When I was in high school, you're looking at so many different colleges. You really don't know what stands out and what doesn't, where you're going to fit in and where you're going to end up. I think what makes the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources at Maryland and AREC specifically unique is the sense of family and community that we do have.
The professors genuinely care about you as a student. They want you to understand the concepts. They want you to do well. And they also want you to take away what you want from their classes, because they all know that we're going completely different routes. There's law school, there's graduate school, there's going with the business route, maybe getting an MBA after all of this, maybe going straight into government. So there's just a lot of different ways that students go in AREC.
We've had students very successfully working at different types of jobs. Some go and work for the government, Washington, D.C., or the state of Maryland. Other people choose to go into the business or industry arena.
I just got my first job as a government relations coordinator in DC for an ag trade association. I interned with them this past summer. They offered me a full-time position to start after graduation.
Despite being in a large college where you get to enjoy the benefit of being in a large university, they have been able to bring in that community aspect. The fact that you are not just one tiny piece in the puzzle. No, you are a major part of this amazing family that we are developing, and understanding that is really critical for you to select your choice of a school.
I can't even put into words how much I've seen myself grow from freshman year when I was, nervous and not really sure where I fit in to now. I have a full-time job waiting for me after graduation. There's so many things that happen in between there, and so many people that invested in me and wanted to see me succeed. I don't know where I'd be without that.
AREC is really a great place to continue your education, and I hope you will come visit us soon.
So that's really all I had in terms of my presentation. I wanted to open the floor to all of you and ask if you had any specific questions about our major. No questions? All right. I don't know if Dr. Olson wanted to add to this.
Yeah, so I'll just say a little bit more about what our program has to offer. I think Jill did a nice job of providing a good overview of the different options that you have when you enter our program. I think for students that are interested in agriculture, most of them either choose to do the agribusiness concentration or agricultural and resource economics, and it depends whether they're interested in the business side of things or whether they want to combine a degree in agricultural economics with concentration in maybe one of the other areas that AG&R focuses on. So, you know, if you're interested in food science, then you could do a concentration where you take most of your other courses in nutrition and food sciences. If you're interested in animal science, you could build a concentration around courses in animal science and so on. So the way our major is structured, you have a lot of flexibility to tailor the major to what fits you best and what your ultimate goals are. I think another thing that students often have questions about is kind of what are your postgraduate opportunities if you do a major in agricultural and resource economics. And so I'm going to share my screen and just show you some data that we have from alumni from our program. Oh, could you enable screen sharing for me, Jill? Okay, so this shows you a summary of the positions that our current alumni hold, you know, in the private and public sector. And so you can see that they really, our alumni have a wide variety of options open to them, and we have a really diverse and high quality set of alumni from our department. So about a fifth of them wind up going into the financial sector, and those are primarily students that do the agribusiness major and the agribusiness concentration. But some of them go into consulting, some of them go into healthcare, some of them go into data analytics and technology services, the agricultural sector, the government sector, environmental groups, and we have a significant number of our students that pursue postgraduate education. And the kind of the when I scroll down here, you see that the list of universities where we have students that have pursued postgraduate education is really outstanding list, some of the most prestigious universities around the country. So this gives you just a more detailed look at the different firms and agencies that our alumni are currently working at. So you can see here, these are all kind of, you know, some of the best known firms in the financial sector. These are some of the universities where we've had alumni do postgraduate work. These are all major consulting firms where we have alumni working. We have alumni working in the healthcare sector at some really prominent healthcare firms. And likewise, you know, if you just look across all these sectors, our alumni are working in really high quality jobs and a really diverse set of jobs. So I think it speaks really well for the quality of the education that we provide. But also, I think it speaks to the fact that the education that you get when you come to AREC doesn't prepare you for a specific job, but it gives you the kind of training that you can take and use it productively in whatever interests you. So we kind of think of ourselves as an applied economics department where you receive high quality training in critical thinking and analytical thinking and quantitative skills. And these are the kind of skills that employers are really looking for. And so you can just see, I think our alumni placements and where they're at now just speaks for itself. Okay, so let me turn it back to Jill, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I didn't have anything else to add, but I wanted to let you know that I am here as a resource. If you have any questions about the AREC major or any questions about our requirements as they pertain to you, you can send me an email. I'm going to put it in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me at any point, and I'm happy to speak to you more about our major. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, let me just second that. We'd love to have you join us in our major in the fall.
Great. Well, if the AREC team has nothing else to add or there's no questions, we really appreciate everyone coming this evening. You've heard some great things about the program and the opportunities. You know, I would just want to add that the AREC major really provides students an experience to customize their degree and customize their passions and put that all together. The students you saw in the video, Brian, Elizabeth, and Cedric, they've all had very different experiences and all have different career pathways within agriculture, but they have had the one thing in common of the department and the support of staff and faculty like Jill, Dr. Lynch, and Dr. Olson, and have really become successful in very different ways. Cedric's now running entrepreneurship programs for our college, in addition to running his international nonprofit Roots Africa. Brian's working in DC for Crop Life America, and Elizabeth's about to graduate this winter or this spring. I'm not sure she's decided, but she's looking at USDA or graduate school. So there's lots of things you can do. Jill, I see a question came in through the chat. Do you want to answer?
Sure. So the question is, how can the AREC degree assist with acceptance into veterinary college? Well, I mean, I will say we're not necessarily a veterinary oriented degree. I mean, this is a microeconomics program that is focused on economics and the environment. That being said, if you're interested to go to veterinary college, for that, you're following sort of a pre-vet course of study. So if you kind of do our major in conjunction with the courses that you would need to apply to veterinary school, so you could first, for example, you could use the labs that you would need to apply to veterinary school to fulfill our natural sciences field of study, for example. And we would be happy to work with you to customize your AREC major to include all of the pre-vet requirements that you would need. So, I mean, that's kind of how we'd work with you for that.
Yeah, I think what you'd want to do would be to supplement the courses that are required for our major with courses oriented towards biology and animal science. So, you know, those are the courses that are going to benefit you and kind of line up with what you would need for a pre-vet degree, but you also, I think you might want to consider just looking at the animal science program as well, because their program is the program at Maryland that is designed as kind of the pre-vet program here at College Park. But you could certainly do that in conjunction with an AREC degree. You just would want to make sure you work closely with Jill to design your program so that the courses that you take are the ones that prepare you to apply to veterinary school.
Great question. Yeah, so yeah, thanks. And if anyone else has questions, please continue to put them in the chat, or Jill provided her email and would be happy to follow up with anyone. But if that's all we have prepared, I just want to say again, thank you everyone for coming. I know this is a short but very informative information session. We hope that you got a lot out of it. If you're interested in connecting more with the college, there are more opportunities and more information sessions throughout the rest of this month. I'll put in the chat this link to the website where you probably found this information session, but there are others as well. If you want to hear from our current students, we have one coming up. If you're interested in any of our other departments, you can just to explore what's out there. We have recordings of past information sessions. So please continue to do your research and figure out, where the pathway is for you and connect with our faculty and staff like those here with us tonight. So thank you so much to Dr. Lynch, Dr. Olson, and to Jill for your time tonight. Thank you to those of you who came out. We are so excited to have you as possible future students. If you want to connect with the college in general, in addition to getting in touch with Jill, our contact information is just futureagnr@umd.edu. And I put that in the chat as well. So I think that's all we have. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to stop the recording here. And if anyone has further questions, feel free to stick around and we'll go from there.